you may be leaving money on the table by not re-engaging your current customers. They already bought something from you once. Chances are they might be interested in buying more or know somebody who is. So if you want to make more money by re-engaging your customers, stay tuned. You're watching the Business Income series, a series on how to understand and serve your clients better and translate that into business income gains in your net revenue. Specifically, I am walking you through a tool, the Business Income Gains spreadsheet, that will help you model what impact different business strategies will have on your company and your income so that you can focus on the strategy that will have the biggest impact. I'm Alex Sorensen from Easier Habits, and I coach overthinking entrepreneurs in how to turn their anxiety and overwhelm into unstoppable productivity and unstoppable execution. And really, this is right in line with what I do because this tool helps take you from overwhelm, procrastination, or skipping from tactic to tactic without mastering any and getting results into identifying one area of focus that you can act on and increase your net revenue. All right, this is the last strategy section. I'll go through an example real quick and tie up the strategy portion of the Business Income Gains series. And stay tuned, subscribe for the last video, which will talk more about implementation. You've picked a strategy. How can you make the process of learning and nailing that strategy a little bit easier, a little bit faster? Again, I can't make this easy for you, but I can make it easier. So, jumping into re-engaging your customers. Basically, you can re-engage your customers in two major ways that boost in this simple financial model organic traffic. You can get them coming back to you without having to pay to reacquire them. You could actually do a paid strategy, I should list that, which would be remarketing, i.e. you're marketing to people who have already bought from you, and so it's more likely to be a cost-effective advertising solution. So it's a way to get paid marketing that is cheaper and more effective, etc. So I will add that to the list. This list of strategies, like all of my list of strategies, are by no means exhaustive. They're just common strategies. If you are a small business, early stage startup, or a solopreneur, chances are you're not doing all of these strategies, and or there's one that you could do dramatically better. So this should be sufficient, but feel free to add your own. Comment down below if you have additional strategies like that remarketing thing that I just remembered would fit very well here. And I'll be happy to update the spreadsheet. So the strategies here are, let's see, let's put in a placeholder right here for remarketing, and I will update that later. So there's an email list, right? You can add your customers to an email list, and they'll get your regular newsletter stuff and might come back to your site through that. That's kind of level one. Level two would be if you already have an email list, you could implement a drip campaign. So those are automated emails after someone buys that could give them tips on how to use that. You could actually incorporate another strategy, ask for feedback in the drip campaign. You could remind them to buy again if there is a reusable, consumable element to what it is they're doing, or you could, if there's like a progression in products that after someone uses this and masters that, there's another next product, you could sell that via the drip campaign as well. And then you can build a community, so that's having a place online, whether on your website or social media, where customers and potential customers can interact with each other, recommend, they could share how they use things, etc. So that you have to manage that community, which is a certain amount of work in and of itself. But then you also, if you do a good job engaging the community and having them post, inspiring them to post, then they can actually start producing some content. So leveraging that can be very effective. And then there's just asking for feedback. You've probably seen that a lot with Amazon sellers, right? So one that re-engages the customer, and they might come back to you again after thinking about how much they liked your product. And of course, the rating is another way to demonstrate that your product is high quality and get either more conversions as you show that on your site or get more traffic, etc. So those are re-engagement strategies. Real quick, I will assume in our direct-to-consumer keto cereal example with Avatar Ted, who wants keto cereal to have more energy, that you might be implementing a drip campaign. And that we talked about a lot of potential product offerings, digital product offerings in terms of keto cooking and exercising on keto and kind of keto life digital products. All of that brainstorming we did for Craft Your Offer, a previous video, we could apply some of that to the drip campaign. We give some of that content, so like best time to eat your keto cereal in the day for energy, and what types of foods should you eat around it, etc. You could have that as an email afterwards. You could have an email asking for feedback. You could have an email about how to exercise on keto, etc. And then for people who don't buy the subscription product, you could have in a couple months when maybe the cereals run out, you could have an email like, hey, would you like more keto cereal? Never have an empty pantry, subscribe, etc. So you could do upsells there. So I am again going to go light on the calculation because we did plenty of that in early videos, and I'll just do sort of a gut check. And kind of some head math. How much would my organic leads increase? Well, I have 4,500 sales as it is, unless I've implemented some of the other strategies. So 45, if 1 in 10 people stayed on the email list and actually read the emails, and 1 in 10 of those actually click through the emails back to my site, like 1% of those people, that would be like 45 organic leads, or 45 divided by 30,000. So I currently have, so that's 0.1% of my current traffic. It's not enough to consider. I would have to have a lot more people clicking through my ads and running through that. So I'm like forecasting 0. How much would my conversion rate improve? Well, if it's not bringing enough people back to have, appreciable traffic, it's not really doing much for you. So how much would my conversion rate improve? That would be 0 if I don't have enough traffic. And how much operational cost would it have if I have to get a pro account or something for the volume of emails, or upgrade my service level with $20 or $30 a month? We'll just say 30. We'll say that's 360. So not that effective yet. Now, after you've gone through some of the other strategies and picked out things that increase your traffic and conversion rate so that you're making a lot more sales, then this might be a bigger lever for this company, but this company just really isn't ready for that. And so there's probably other ways that you could use an email list to nurture leads and get more sales, and then invest as that email list grows, nurture segments that might benefit from drip campaigns, etc. So we could walk down, like, if I had implemented the subscriptions before, and these people, this 1/3 of people are not just converting at the normal $80, but they're getting subscriptions, etc. There's some way that this could actually make sense, but as I'm going through the calculations, what would it take? What assumptions would I have to make this profitable? You can kind of see that I have to make a whole lot of assumptions. Whereas when you compare that with the subscription products that we talked about last time, where it's like there's one assumption that is like 2%, I think we ended up with, of people who buy cereal would want to buy it on a subscription basis so they never run out. A very modest assumption. It's one single assumption. It's much simpler than I can get X% of these people to stay on the email list and read my email list and click through and buy the subscription. There's a lot of assumptions there. So again, that's another indication that this might not be the first thing to work on the business. So that said, we can go through, we did a quick review of our methods last time before we select our final most effective strategy, right? We had the find your avatar, and specifically we thought we could increase organic leads and conversion rate slightly by retweeting popular keto tweets or interacting with tweets from popular keto leaders or slow carb leaders like Tim Ferriss. And we thought like, all right, maybe that strategy of engaging with thought leaders and influencers in the space could get us $6,000 additional dollars of revenue. There was better targeted ads, finding Ted right when he's got the munchies and is tempted to break his keto diet. They're speaking their language with aspirational headers and images that resonate more with Ted. We thought that some improvements in that could yield $12,000. We crafted a subscription offer, and even at the very modest assumption of like 2% of serial buyers buying a subscription, that yielded us $13,000, and re-engaging customers seems like it would put us in the hole right now. We'd have to make a whole bunch of assumptions and make very aggressive assumptions in order to make it worth any money at all, and especially if there's operational cost in maintaining that list, that wouldn't be worth anything. And to be honest, even though if there weren't that operational cost, it's just not worth the time. And again, that is what the purpose of the business income gain system is, to find what to focus on. That's pretty clear. This business needs a subscription product for their cereal so that people can keep coming back and buying it. So that has the biggest potential to change the business. However, all of these things could be stacked on top of each other. And so if you notice these 4 strategies, right? There's 2 in finding your avatar, organic and paid. There's improving the ads by speaking their language. There's crafting a better offer, which is just subscribe, offering that value to people who need it. Those 4 strategies would result in a 67% increase in net revenue. And to be honest, this is probably a very conservative estimate, because the power of more targeted ads plus ads that speak better, the result of that might be more powerful than either section alone. They can start stack and multiply on top of each other. And then when you add in the subscription, etc. So this spreadsheet, as I have mentioned many times, calculates conservatively, but conservatively, 4 simple strategies, around 1 to 3% increases or improvements, very achievable goals, and it's a 67% increase in net revenue. Now, you wouldn't do them all at a time. You would focus on one. You'd focus on the subscription first, and then work backwards, maybe through the ads, to have more effective ads that you're already running, to get more people on getting in there, getting subscriptions, and then you're targeting people better, etc. So I would love your feedback. I designed the business income gains spreadsheet to help you find one strategy to focus on and master, and to give you ideas based on your customer avatar how to actually implement that strategy. Have specific ideas how to reach or speak to or offer better products to your particular customers. So I'm hoping that this allows you to take that sea of ginormous information, all of these ads, 5 tips for this, 5 tips for that, that have your mind spinning, that make you procrastinate or make you hop from strategy to strategy without seeing results. I would love to know how this is working for you. Where are you seeing the benefit in your business? What questions do you have? Please throw those down in comments below. And of course, like this so that other entrepreneurs can find these free resources and increase their revenue, share the wealth, be a good friend. And of course, you should stay tuned for the last video, because the last video is where I'm going to talk about the hardest part, the implementation. Now that you have found the biggest impact on your net revenue, it is time to make that happen. And it's not going to be immediate, and it's not necessarily going to be easy, but again, I can make it easier for you, so stay tuned and hit that subscribe button. So go ahead and fill out the re-engage your customers section of the business income gains spreadsheet. Try a few different models for things that might work. Again, set reasonable, achievable goals, not huge goals. And it's okay to re-engage more than once or go through the cycle more than once, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself with huge, ginormous goals that are difficult to reach and then discouraging. Steady progress is the name of the game. And one tip for people who find sales difficult, i.e. the people that feel like selling is not authentic and they really want to be in more of a relationship, well, sometimes learning to re-engage your customer can be your segue into learning how to sell. When you have a customer who's already bought from you, they've already told you what they find is valuable. For a lot of people, upselling to additional services or re-engaging, creating a relationship, investing in them and nurturing them so that later they buy more comes more naturally. And then sales is just investing in people, nurturing them, offering helpful services, not just like shoving your product in their face, but ideally really selling to people who haven't bought your services yet should be the same, very much the same as re-engaging people who have. Now, people who have are more likely to buy because they've already shown you they're more likely to buy. But that whole mentality of you have a relationship and you're nurturing it is what you need to take back to even into short relationships, even if you're just running ads, right? Think about the relationship. Where is that person in their day? What are they thinking? All right. Why is what you have to offer actually helpful for them rather than another ad shoved in their face? And a lot of people have the block, just think, oh, it is another ad shoved in their face, right? But you're going to see, as you get good at re-engaging customers, how to offer people things in an authentic and meaningful way. And that does typically help you figure out how to offer things to people more generally, even people who haven't bought from you, in a more authentic, relationships, genuinely helpful way. So stay tuned. This last video in the Business Income Gains series is the most important. It's the one where we talk about implementation. So up to this point, you have dived into a specific user avatar, you have modeled your company, and you've seen different strategies in the way they can potentially impact your net revenue. Strategies for finding, strategies for converting by speaking their language, crafting your offer, and re-engaging your customers. All of those strategies. And at this point, you should be able to see, all right, which strategy would result in the biggest income benefit to you, so you have something to focus on. But something to focus on is not yet implementation, and implementation is what we will talk about next, how to make those income gains real.